Love it. Okay, do I have that going? I believe I do. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the DJ Craig podcast. Today's guest, I mean, this woman is a go-getter. She's done at least 700 weddings since 2007. Her work has been featured in many publications, including the Knot Magazine, Do It Yourself Magazine. It's all there. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this lady is a go-getter. Her name is Jeannine Pohl from Jeannine Photography. How's it going, Jeannine?
I'm good, Greg. I'm good. Thank you.
All
This
right.
is
Thanks.
fun.
Yeah, thanks a lot for being a guest once again.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. How did you get started with the camera?
Forever ago. So I grew up in northern Minnesota, and we have clubs called 4-H around. They're kind of all over the place, but mostly in like rural areas. And you do different projects, and I'd show my horses, and I'd do different things like photography, and there's like growing plants and things like that I didn't do those ones. But definitely photography was something that was always a favorite thing to do. And then I went to school for photojournalism at Winona State, and then just had the whole mindset like I couldn't quite make a career out of it. I moved out east for a couple years, and then when I moved back to Minnesota, a couple years, 2006, 2007, I went back to school for digital photography at MCTC, and then started shooting weddings. And that's really where I found this like great meet up of being able to be in that photojournalistic eye without having to be hands-on creativity all the time. But then there is an opportunity for that with weddings too. And not only that, but to celebrate with couples and their families and friends on a regular basis is incredible. It's such an emotional high, and a really, really cool thing to be part of that I just couldn't get enough of.
Okay. So who was the one that, that gave you the vision, the eye? Did you have a mentor at the time that said, Jeannine, let's do it this way, take it from this angle?
Yeah, you know what? I definitely had critiques in school and so forth that did that. I think working as a second photographer, you really learn what other people's vision are, and you have to try to go with what their direction is. So second shooting is really, really valuable in growing as an artist and creative, to fulfill somebody else's vision and also bring your eye to it.
Right. So when was the official time or official year that you just broke out on your own?
Yeah, so I was second shooting and then working retail management with CVS Pharmacy until 2012. And I came to that summer of 2012, was like, I don't even have time to work this job anymore. And at that point, retail management, it was like 50 to 60 hours a week.
Right.
So I gave my notice, walked away of all those perfectly good benefits and consistent income to take the wave of very seasonal artistic work. And the level of happiness is exponential. Like, I can't even think how I would have continued working in retail management and been happy in my life. And even on the worst days, which there isn't really any,
unless it rains,
so much better. Like, even rain and whatever, you like can take all of that with a smile. Yeah.
Right on. I love that attitude. So okay, so you started out. What were like some of the mistakes that you made, early on, and then how did you overcome those mistakes?
Yeah, so in 2012, I actually hired a business coach, and that was probably the most valuable thing and success of my business at that point. Allowed me to see the time trade for money that I have to do when I have to do everything myself.
Yes.
I brought on an office assistant at year who is still with me.
Oh, wow.
who helps me with all the things that I really didn't like doing. And she does it without even, like, that's what she does. I'm really, really grateful for that. And then, if anything, as far as mistakes, I definitely I'm a slower decision maker and I weigh things way too slowly. I think you really just have to, at some point, just do it and fail in order to get through it, or not fail, or just do it and it's a success. You do what you need to do to make it happen.
Right.
So that's one of the things. Another thing of like systems, I again could have implemented systems a lot sooner than I did, but that's not the pretty fun thing about business, right? So
Right. Absolutely.
honestly, like learning QuickBooks and feeling really confident with where I'm at with the money thing, it took me until like just 2 years ago to do that. And that's painful, and you make decisions in regards to money that maybe like I'm taking too much work because I don't even know where I'm at, or not like projecting it to know what the future looks like for that. So I think that's really been a painful lesson that I took too long to activate and implement. So.
Well, with you starting out, you trip, you fall, but then you get back up and do your thing.
Yeah, you have to take it as a lesson. Like you have to understand that those growing pains are going to happen regardless. You just have to know how you can not do them again, hopefully.
Right, right. And speaking of trips, I mean, this COVID-19, of course, affected just about every industry here. What were your dealings with that, and how did you manage to, let's say, recover or
Yeah.
bounce back?
Well, to be honest, I don't think recovery is going to be for like another year, because we're taking all these events that we've booked for this year and moving into next year. So that's like we're making 2 years of income in 1 year. So it's definitely going to be something that's impacted for many months ahead. For a while there, it was really hard to even check my email because it was like postponements of events, and just coming out of such a slow season anyways for being in wedding industry, you get to a point where like you're just ready to get back to work again, and then COVID stops all of that.
Yeah, it really did.
I can't say I handled it well. I've definitely had a lot of anxiety that I've never actually had to deal with anxiety in this way before.
Right.
And it was more so out of grief of like not being able to be creative every weekend, grief of like, I've been on this build momentum for so long that I haven't taken this time to like step back and like have a pause and break. Yes. And that's a different way to be. And it was a forced being. So I think it's been good to be able to have that pause and just reevaluate. I read the book Essentialism over the last month here, and it really resonated with me of that build mentality of like, what are you building for? Let's reevaluate things. Let's look of what your actual goals are in life and living, and then work to those goals and not try to just do the unlimited. Work within really the necessary means of working. So that's something I'm working on. And it's a total different mindset altogether.
Okay, I have to get that book. You got to tell me about that, after this podcast. But anyway, did you binge watch anything during that time?
Okay, so I'm not really a TV watcher at all. But the first couple of weeks that were like that second week of March, everything just closed. I'm like, free trial of Netflix. Sounds like a great time to start that. I watched Handmaid's Tale as my first series, and it was not a good choice. It's a very depressing series. So I kind of excavate any more series. I finished that one and I was like, all right, we're just gonna
We just gonna move on.
Not watch that anymore. Yeah.
But what about snacking though? What about COVID snacks?
COVID snacks?
Yeah.
You know what? I've actually cooked a lot more than I have in the past. My husband was a cook when I met him, so
Okay.
key to my heart. And I've been cooking, and then my gym went virtual, so I've been working out more than I ever have before either. So between like not being on a go all the time and eating meals really quickly and then cooking for myself and working out more consistently, I'm in my studio right now. What I do is like put up a projector with the workout videos, the live videos I do with my gym, and then I have them on this big wall back here. Totally different use of my studio than I originally thought I'd be using it for.
I don't know, now it's your workout studio.
Yeah.
Right. And what's the name of your studio, by the way?
Yeah, so I have Block Portrait Studios. It's in St. Paul, right over the High Bridge area.
Okay. And how long have you had it?
Yeah, so I had my home office in West St. Paul. It was like a little story-and-a-half home, and we'd have the office upstairs. My assistant would ring the doorbell, and I would like jump out of bed and go answer the door. All right, working time. And then I got pregnant in 2015 and decided we needed to reclaim all of the space in that tiny little house. And I had reached out to this building that I saw had sold, and the landlord was looking for a tenant, and I got this great storefront space that I put a little office into it. And then I've been able to host like business workshops here and different creatives. Tuesdays Together is something else I host here for the St. Paul chapter, which is a monthly meeting for creatives, and a little parties. And I've also rented it out for people to host gallery shows, different artists. Yeah, I've really missed that energy in here since COVID too, of not having people around more often.
Well, it'll come back for sure. Maybe we'll do like a little mixer or something.
I would love that. Yeah.
That would be cool. That would be cool. So Jeannine, what is your meaning of success?
Yeah. That's a deep one, right? If there's anything I've learned, like that goal of having a studio was always there. Having a studio, okay, now I have a studio. Like, what's next? Like, there's always that level up. Like, what's the next thing that you're working for? And I think you have to be tuned in with the journey and where you're at. And that's happiness in exactly where you're at. And knowing that when you get to that next thing, that's not the end all. Like, there's got to be a level up. If you don't have that challenge, or at least for me, if I don't have that challenge of the next thing, even no matter how uncomfortable it might feel, you have to have that to work towards. And especially in a creative industry, I think it's really important to do that too.
Right. Yeah, because you're always working towards something, you accomplish something. It's like a building block.
Right.
That you're coming from.
Yeah, so I've been working, the studio up until this point has been a studio rental to other photographers that I had my office in, and then I would also photograph in here on occasion, but my work was all around weddings, and COVID. And also my son is 4, and he's going to be starting school, and those weekends just become more valuable. I've started to do a little bit more portrait work, and that this space has been a great way to build that portrait business.
I've seen a lot of your portraits that you've taken, and they all look beautiful. I love the, like the candid expressions and the look on people's faces. And we've done some work together too, which, I've seen you at work and how you make people, relax, at ease, don't worry, just enjoy the day. That's your whole persona when it comes to like shooting. Just enjoy it, because this is a once in a lifetime thing. This is your moment. Enjoy that moment.
Yeah.
I hear you out there.
Oh, thank you, Greg. Thank you.
You know what? Listen, if I was starting to get into cameras, photography, and so on, which camera would you recommend?
Oh man.
Or brand?
You know what I would recommend? Your phone.
This iPhone?
Those iPhones are so good. Those new, oh my gosh, they're so good. I think you can appreciate and be good with photography with your camera that you have in your pocket on a regular day, is because you can work on perspective, you can work on the emotion, you can look for lighting and all these different things without having to have a big camera. Like, work with what you have with you, really.
Okay.
If you wanted to go into something that has like exchangeable lenses and stuff, then that's another whole ball game, and also more expensive, and you have to bring it with you. So.
That's true. That's true. Because I was deciding between a Canon, and someone had mentioned a Sony, and I wound up buying the Sony because they didn't have the Canon there. But so far so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a unlimited deal with the cameras and lenses and all this other stuff. Just like DJing, you know, there's just way too much product out there.
There is a lot to choose from. And then once you kind of get into the line of it, you just kind of have to stick with the line, because the lenses and all the things that go with it becomes way expensive if you're going to change directions on it altogether.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, let's see, what was that last question I had for you? Oh, yes. What does Jeannine Marie Photography look like in the next 5 years?
I hope I can shoot weddings still. That's what I want. That's what I want to do. I want COVID to be out of here.
You and me both.
I just want to keep doing what I love to do. Yeah. Yeah. To be honest, I would love to do something. This has been percolating in my mind for a long time. I would love to work on a book and about weddings in different cultures and what that symbolizes in across the board of similarities between all the cultures, because that would include some travel for me. It would include meeting other people and cultures, and it's something that's been in back of my mind for years that I just haven't executed.
Wow. Yeah, you should do it.
Yeah.
You should do it. I mean, I heard this quote, and I'll repeat it to you. And I said this to Bill Herman also when we spoke, and it comes from Les Brown. It says, "Live full, die empty."
Use it up.
Yep, use it up. Yep, use up all the life while you can, while you're healthy and strong and able to shoot as many weddings as you do. Live full, die empty. Well, Jeannine, I want to thank you for your time. You've been great, and hopefully we still manage to like keep working together. And of course, I know by a fact that I'll see you win many more awards. So keep on doing what you're doing, and I thank you for your time.
Thanks, Greg.
Appreciate it. All right.